This weekend's BPL big clashes. Chelsea face Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, and Valentino Thompson along with Nathan with football frequency. Now Nathan, Mourinho under pressure and under the bus. First time we are seeing this situation at Chelsea, 17th with 4 points.
I wouldn't say pressure,
Yeah.
I would say more of understanding that he has a philosophy and he needs to stick with it.
But when I say pressure, I don't necessarily mean him being under pressure and losing his job. I mean
Correct.
getting it right, getting the points on the table,
Right.
bringing back Chelsea to where we know they should be, not 17th position. So not him losing his job.
Correct. Well, if we look at the current history, last season 80 points won you the league. Now that I say this to say that if Mourinho gets this right, which is tomorrow, he will now be on 3 points more than what he has. And with the competition within the league, teams will also help him to get to that point where he should be. Don't expect City to run away with this league. It's not going to be that
No,
way.
I couldn't expect that at all because I know that City have matches to lose, so
Correct.
to speak. Unless they be like the invincibles of Arsenal. But even Chelsea, they have lost 3 games so far this season.
Right.
That they lost that number last season, the entire season.
While I agree, you have to also look on the philosophy. No, they're playing a long, stretched system. Chelsea isn't used to that. They're used to the short, compact system, which makes players run less off the ball and on the ball, playing channels through their left side and allowing Hazard to do all the creativity and score
So
goals.
what do you think take away from this philosophy?
The purchase of Pedro. Unfortunately, he's a good system player, a good player, but I don't think, honestly, that Pedro fits into what Mourinho really, truly wants.
Okay, fair enough, but he wasn't there in the first 2 games of the season. Chelsea had a disappointing draw at
But
home
you
against...
still have to try and integrate him into the system, which means that you need to ask players to play a specific way, knowing that Pedro will be introduced.
Alright, he's not in the team for tomorrow's game. He's out.
Total blessing in
So
disguise.
that you think that's a blessing in disguise?
Definitely, because it's now back to discipline, hard-nosed football. And it's going to frustrate Wenger, because Wenger is expressive in his style of play. He wants to score goals.
Yes.
And if Mourinho says, here what? Okay, I surrender this position. Play all the pretty football you want to play. I surrender position. I'll play scrimmage in my final third, and you can't break me down. What that does is force Arsenal to play high up the pitch. Once they play high up the pitch, that outlet ball to Hazard or the right winger, or even Costa, who collapses defense on himself, it provides width and it provides areas in which Chelsea will exploit.
And speaking about Wenger, he hasn't beaten Mourinho in the league. Is this the right time for him to get a victory over the one who calls him the specialist of failure?
Well, it would be the right time, but don't be fooled. If you're too eager about it, he will lose.
Yes. So you think you're of the opinion that Chelsea will win?
Definitely. I think Mourinho is a way more composed manager, and that's a reflection. It reflects in his players. Wenger, it also reflects in his players. And remember, lapses especially in games against Chelsea, lapses are counts against teams playing Chelsea. They focus very well.
I get your point, but I think Arsenal will win. And you know why? Because so far we have seen of Chelsea, they're not as defensively solid as you said. And also teams, even Crystal Palace, seem to have exploited that and went at Chelsea.
Correct.
And I think this is the approach that Arsenal should have come tomorrow. They should be fearless but not reckless.
I don't think you're right in trying to compare other teams playing against Chelsea. This is Mourinho versus Wenger. This is
and you're saying the psychological effect that Mourinho has on Wenger will...
He has already won.
I think if Arsenal should get a goal, the first goal, that they would be in good stead.
That will definitely change the reflection of the game, because then Mourinho is forced to be expressive. I'm sure he doesn't want to play that way initially, so getting that first goal, I will definitely...
Let's look at a few individual players. Ivanovic, there are reports that he might be replaced come the end of the season where his contract ends, and also people seem to be blaming him for Chelsea's lack of form, especially their defensive outlay, so to speak. What do you think of Ivanovic? Is he being unfairly treated?
Definitely. Ivanovic was never a very good individual defensive player. He is a compact player. He is a team defender and a team attacking wingback. Now, if the collective force isn't working, that's when it exposes his deficiencies. But allow the centre halves and the central midfielders to be responsible for the duties while he goes forward, and then you'll see the difference.
Okay. I would love to see him come up against Walcott, considering the lack of form that is in, quote unquote. Speaking about Walcott, 11 games started for Arsenal, scoring 11 goals.
Right.
Yet in the Champions League game on Wednesday, he came off the bench. Do you think Wenger is doing Arsenal fans himself and Arsenal an injustice?
Definitely not. I'm really concerned about why are you not starting this guy?
Yeah,
he's performing.
Mm-hmm. But some might say that the way how Wenger approaches it is effective because he comes off the bench, he has space when the other team is tired, he runs at the defenders, so it's more effective in that.
Fair
way.
Enough.
What is the best situation for him tomorrow in terms of playing Walcott?
You must start him because what Walcott does, based on what you just said, his pace, he stretches defensive lines. Now, if just take for instance, viewers, if you put Walcott on this half line with just say a Zuma or a wing back, if that ball is played over diagonally to the far left, then that's trouble. No, you have to be cautious about that, which means Chelsea in attack must not overcommit.
Well, what can I say? Simon will be weeping when Arsenal moves Chelsea's bus out of the parking lot, and you can see all the action on Digicel SportsMax 2 tomorrow, starting 6:45, 7:45 Eastern Caribbean time. Now that is our football frequency with me, Valentino Thompson, and Nathan Wade.
Chelsea.
Arsenal.